Thank you for joining us here at the Resilience Movement podcast. I have a wonderful guest today, and today's conversation is one of those rare ones that feels both timely and timeless. I'm joined by someone whose work sits beautifully in the intersection of science, soul, and lived experience. This is not a conversation about illness. It's a conversation about presence, meaning, how we actually live life while it's happening. And so, Bron Watson, Bron is a nurse, an educator, an entrepreneur, and the founder of the social coach and the Serenity Project. With decades of experience in healthcare and education, Bron has always been drawn to the space where care, communication, and connection truly matters. In 2012, she founded her first business, supporting people to share their voice and with authenticity and intention, work that has since supported thousands to show up more fully in their life and in their business. In 2017, Bron's life took a profound turn when she was diagnosed with breast cancer, followed by 5 years later by a second diagnosis, an incurable blood cancer. And rather than being defined by diagnosis, these experiences deepened her belief that healing is not just physical, but emotional and spiritual and deeply personal. So, from this, the Serenity Project was born, a space that Bron describes as the third space where science meets soul, a place to reconnect with yourself, navigate uncertainty with compassion, and find serenity even in the midst of life's hardest moments. So, Bron brings a rare blend of clinical insight, entrepreneurial wisdom, and lived presence. And I'm so grateful to have her here today because I know my listeners will just love her.
Thank you. It is so nice to be here, Donna. I mean, we've had numerous conversations, but it's just we're here and it's
Yeah,
very exciting. We'll see where it goes.
yeah. And it's so good to have people. I know that we only recently met and spoke, but we had such connections with so many different things. And I just really resonated with what you were saying, and I couldn't wait to have you on here. So thank you, much gratitude.
No, my
And
pleasure.
and as usual, I have some lovely questions, and my goodness, this conversation can go anywhere. So let's see what happens. But I have some things because I always love to speak to my guests beforehand, and it just gives me some insight, and I hear these little nuggets that I take. And one of them was when we first spoke, I heard you say something a few times, and that was be where your feet are. So, when people hear you say that, what does it actually mean to you today? Not as a quote, but as a lived practice.
Yeah, because I mean, it is a quote, and I actually did get the person who said it, who is Scott O'Neill. It's actually a book called Be Where Your Feet Are, and I think Oprah said it. And
Right?
so I'm joining the ranks, and now Bron said it. It is actually a lived experience, not a quote, really, for me, because when adversity strikes in all shapes and sizes, and for me, I call them those left turns. So I have sat now in a cancer institute for years, and every time you go in, you can focus on the doors or you can focus on what's going to happen, a left turn. Because say I've been, I've lost count, it'd have to be 40 or 50 times. And I've gone in there and I would have to say that out of 50 times, 45 of them have had a left turn, which means something unexpected has happened.
Mm,
All right. It's not common for me. Remember, this is Bron's story. This is not what everyone else experiences. So, what
yeah.
happens in that time is I have gone from going in, and I'm using this as an example of what be where your feet are means, and going in full of anxiety, fear, what's next, because you've had proof that
Mm,
left hand turns happen. So I've worked really hard, and it's really only been only in the last maybe 3 or 4 visits, even when I know that things might be left hand turns, I so consciously choose to be where my feet are. So what that means for me is I want to feel the feel, so I don't ignore the
mhm,
feeling. I then want to allow whatever's happening to happen. So I'm not projecting it. I'm literally controlling what is controllable. I control my breathing. I can control where my thoughts go.
Yeah.
Oh, people try to say to me, "Oh no, you can't." You can. You can say no, thank you. Remember, I was talking about that bloody fear monkey is pacing at the back there, right? Pacing, pacing, pacing. I can either give that monkey oxygen, aka food, or I can say, "No, you are not welcome right now." And that's a controlling of the controllable. Does it take time? Yes. Can it be done? Yes.
Mm.
And then I hit the pause, and then I hit the reflection, and then I hit the respond. So that's what be where your feet are means, because otherwise your brain, because it's going to be your brain here, not your body won't fail you in that moment. Your brain is going to take you on this most wild, imagine the best Oscar winning movie you have ever played, and you're the main character. And you're going, oh, and this thing is this catastrophic experience. That's what projection is, right? Because
Mm.
you've made it real and it's not real. So when we stay literally where our feet are, okay, where's my feet? And I will say to myself, where are my feet? Okay, my feet are here. Okay,
Yeah.
well, this is where we are.
Yeah.
We're not at the next doctor's appointment. So I know I'm rattling on, but that's what it means, because that's where we can have what I call those serenity now moments where
Yeah.
we accept what we cannot change. We find the courage that we need to, and then the wisdom. The wisdom are, Bron, your feet are not in June 2026, Bron. They're here. Okay, bring it back, girl. It doesn't mean I don't do it. But what I'm
Yeah.
saying is that I'm making this massive effort. And that's where I live, literally be where my feet are.
And I like the fact that you said don't ignore the feelings because
No,
a lot of the time I found this over the years that sometimes people try to suppress the feeling. And I've always say, like identify the feeling. What is it that you're feeling? Because then you can do something with it instead of
exactly.
allowing all of this to come at you. So,
Exactly. So that's what when you can name that feeling,
mm,
and part of what I do is I try to name it because then I can reflect and respond. So if I'm naming fear, damn you fear, and I'm because I'm a visual, there's that damn monkey doing its thing at the back of me. I can go, no, not now. And I can respond, which is no, not now. And then I can then go, cool, what is it? Well,
mm,
it's actually about being flexible, because it's being flexible, because we can't change what's through the doors. We can't change potentially. Well, this is where people go, oh, yes, you can. But it's where I just want people to work with me here and go,
yeah,
remembering if we where our feet are and we stay there and we feel it like the old Bron. I was too busy to feel anything.
yeah.
Mother of five, nurse and all the things, but to feel my feelings for me.
And can I just add a mother of five boys?
Oh, yes, five boys. So back where with the breast cancer, I was being strong. People had this thing, oh my
Mm,
gosh, Brian, you're so strong. And I had a saying, it's still on my Facebook page because I haven't changed it, which is you don't know how strong you are until you have no choice.
yeah.
I wasn't being strong. I was just not going to be defined by a diagnosis, because I had a diagnosis that time,
Mm,
whereas now I have a prognosis as well, which means, hey, Bron, this is incurable. And the statistics tell you blah, 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 blah. And it's like, well, no. That is a number that science has
yeah.
created. I am not the
Yeah.
number. So when you feel the feels, and that doesn't mean putting on the Oscar winning performance, it means I am so scared right now. It doesn't mean I cry every time I go to the damn Cancer Institute, or I cry the day before, knowing that it's coming.
Mm,
Feel it, but do what Rumi says, open the door at the back, let it out. Do not
mm.
store it inside, because that's what the old Bron would have done.
Yeah. And that's the good thing about learning, isn't it? So
Mm.
that leads me into your life has been interrupted in ways most people never experience. How did those moments change your relationship with time and presence?
That's a damn good question. Okay, so obviously, when you have lots of children, it doesn't matter whether you've got one or five, it's still a lot to be able to give to these beautiful little babies who need you 100%. And
Mm,
then as time goes by, you do, for me, I can only talk for me, I wanted to make my kids' life so beautiful compared to, say, my childhood. The way, and come on, it's just we want the next generation to be a better generation, right? Come
Guilty.
on. And so what that does is that I gave all my time to everybody else, my
Mm,
clients, my career, my friends, my family. My mum was diagnosed with dementia. I gave all the things to my mum, and I wouldn't change that for the world. But what
mm,
I now look at is that my energy, even in business, it's all about energy. And I'm not talking, you can, believe in what you will, but energy, literal energy. If you're feeling it in your gut that you're tired, please listen to your body. There is a
mm.
little tiny whisper of your body saying, hey, can you listen to me? And you don't want to get slaps, bricks thrown through your head like I did.
Yeah. That really brings up something for me. Like when you hear those little whispers, so if you have I'm pl sure plenty of people are guilty of this because I know I am. You ignored those whispers for a
I
long
did.
time and you just get on with it, right? How do you allow those whispers to come back in and get heard and not just out of that desperation of if I don't listen, something really severe is going to
No, because you don't
happen.
want to go there. That's a fear monkey. That's your
Yeah,
vortex of fear going, come on in. We're going to have the best party and we're going to trash your world.
yeah.
So we don't want that. Um, so the whispers, right? Your body, your brain, your intuition, call it what you will, is there to help guide you. And to do that, you need to be still. You need to be, for me, I need to sit and pause. I need to literally allow myself time to not have a
Mm,
phone in my hand, not worry about the washing, not worry about all of the things, and put my time first. So when it comes to time, I am so precious of my time and my energy. So what I found for me going through major adversity, there were people who bring energy to a
mhm.
situation. And there are people, so we call them energy givers, and then there are people who are energy suckers.
Yeah.
So they want because you're the energy, and I'm, as you can see, I've got a lot of energy. But so where it comes to is that I would feel the drain from spending time or in my case nurturing people to go, you know what, it's okay, you don't have to say I'm going to be fine, like I'm nurturing them and I'm the one going through the adversity. You know what I'm saying? The people
Yeah.
who have been through this, they'll understand exactly what I'm talking about. And adversity can come in all shapes and sizes.
Mm,
And so now I am I'm so protective of
yeah.
my energy. My husband Paul is very protective of my energy as well, because when that energy goes, then I'm in a vulnerable, for me, I feel I'm in a very vulnerable space
Yeah.
for bad thoughts, negative thoughts, going back down the whole track of, eating half a pack of biscuits when you don't want to. Or is it just me that does that? I mean, insert your thing. So to me,
Clinkers.
clinkers, I can see why. Good thing, right? But it's more, it's just around if you can just pause enough to be just aware
Mm,
that you have this energy and you want to pour it on yourself. And then, like the old saying, fill your cup and then fill everyone else's. Or on the plane, when you put the oxygen mask on, you put yours
yeah.
on before your kids. Well, I would have put all the kids on and then passed out because I forgot to put my own on,
Yeah.
and if I'm putting it from a metaphor. So it's it's all well and good to say the words, but for me, I've had to do. I had no choice. I was literally
Yeah.
brought to my knees. I had nothing in the tank because I had a stem cell transplant, and that involves 4 months of chemo before, where you
Mm.
are it's a very challenging thing to go through.
Can I ask you then, when your husband sees your cup is getting empty and he becomes protective of your energy, what conversation does he have with you? Could you share that?
Well, God love his heart. He does try to have conversations, or he's a fix it guy, right? So if
Yeah.
I start crying right there, I'll give you an example. A couple of weeks ago, so the appointment that I had before the one I've just had with one specialist, right? I'm having I'm bawling my eyes out. And I'm not feeling sorry for myself. I'm just overwhelmed
Mhm.
because what I'm going through is a bit of a marathon, right? And I don't know if you've ever trained for it. You have trained, you've done that thing, right? Remember?
Yep.
The lots and lots
Twice.
of kilometers and all that stuff, right? You
Yep.
know, when you get to the point where you're just so overwhelmed, you're tired, all the things, and you're crying.
Hmm.
So Paul goes into immediate mode, which is what a lot of us do, which is try to fix it.
Yep.
So here he's saying, well, no, no, no. He's trying to fix me crying because I'm overwhelmed with my emotions, right? I'm going, you know what? First time ever. I've said, you know what? Just let me be for 5 minutes. Give me 5 minutes. Don't try to fix me.
Hmm.
Just acknowledge what's happening.
Yeah.
And he's sort of going, whoa. I mean, because I wasn't exactly gentle in the way that I verbalized where I was, right? So I just said, just give me 5. I'm going to be fine. I'm okay. I'm feeling a lot right now.
Yeah.
And because he was trying to make sense of what I was feeling, I couldn't make sense of it and I couldn't verbalize it. I'm like, you know what? Don't even. So this is for the first time when I'm going, don't. Just let me be. And
Hmm.
guess what? I let it pass and it's gone. And then there's no explanation required. So what he does is not necessarily um, have a conversation when he can see, like I'll say I've got bad tired, which is where I get so tired physically that
Hmm.
I hit the lounge. He just picks up the pieces.
Yeah.
So I have an amazing husband who I call Uber because he became the Uber cleaner, the Uber dropping the children to school. He became the shopper, the washer, the gardener, the everything to me. So we called him Uber everything from A to Z.
Oh, that's beautiful.
So not everyone will have an Uber, but what we want to do is we can help encourage conversation, to acknowledge our feelings, to then be able to open up, to go, how can we live through these moments of time when it is shit. It
Yeah.
just is shit.
I'll tell you a funny story. Last year, when I was going through a bit of a challenging time, I was quite emotional about it, and I couldn't really articulate it, and I didn't need to. But my daughter and I got to the point where she's like, "Do we need a safe word today, Mum?"
I love that.
And when I was feeling it, um, then I could just say, and one time our safe word was cherries,
Great.
and she just knew I didn't need anyone to fix it. Now we have conversations where, I'll say, I just want to share something with you, but I don't need you to fix it. And she
Mm.
goes, okay. And I tell her, and she goes, that's interesting. And she's really working hard on it.
Because human nature is we want to nurture, we want to help, we want to
Yeah.
fix. And
Yeah.
guess what? Some things are not fixable.
Yeah. Some things just
And I
need
love that.
to
So
be let
let's
out.
call that the cherry moment, right? Let's go
Yeah.
the cherry
Yeah.
moments. So we want people to have cherry moments where they have the courage to actually share how they're feeling,
Yeah.
not to have a conversation to say that, I love that. The cherry, I'm going to use that. I
It
love
was
it.
really, and it was because at one time we went to the shopping centre and I've just burst into tears.
Mm.
And she's like, "What's happening right now?" And I'm like, "I don't
Mm. Well, you don't know, right? It's
know."
just,
No.
when it's there, we're waves, right?
Yeah, yeah.
The ocean has waves and they don't stop. And sometimes they're big and powerful waves and boom, cherry
Yeah, yeah.
moment right there.
Okay, so I've got another one. After cancer entered your life twice, what parts of the old version of you naturally fell away, and what surprised you about who you became instead?
Good question. So I think one of the things that I sucked at very, very badly was asking for help because I was the giver, right?
Right.
I'm the one who gave all the things, right? Because that's what I enjoyed. I thought that that was where I could add value to what was happening around me. So
Right.
I can remember after the breast cancer, I'd started the chemo. We were going to Sydney for that, had the surgery in Sydney, and like I'm 4 hours north of Sydney. And a lady who I'd only met that year came with a washing basket of food. She was from my soccer team, and she was just this beautiful mother of another child. And she turned up with a full basket of food that she'd made for us.
Oh my
I'm
goodness.
talking like multiple meals, not
Oh,
just like here, Bron, here's a meal. And I couldn't do anything. All I did was cry. I couldn't even speak to her. I was just inconsolable in some ways because I felt so vulnerable.
mm,
I was so vulnerable because I had never been able to ask for help. And it just was such a slap that someone actually wanted to help me
yeah.
without asking. It was such a pivotal time. And we've had those beautiful angels come in varying shades and forms since then. Whereas now I think that I was not open to having people help me because I was
Mm,
the strong one. Whereas now I feel that we have people who came, like especially with the stem cell transplant. And remember, Paul's going through this too. Cancer is not just a singular event. It's like it's a big family game that goes on, right? So we've got the
hmm.
kids, all of the children, and we've got, remembering they're not kids, they're adult. There's only two under 20. So they're big boys. And we're dealing with that. Paul's dealing with me. He's got family issues, like his mum's not well, and all of this going on. And these
Mm,
angels would come. I even got nominated to a beautiful. It was Christmas. It was after the stem cell transplant, and these two beautiful elderly people turned up with two shopping bags of food for Christmas,
oh my
gravy,
gosh.
custard, snacks. Like it was just, and you could see that these items had been purchased by retirees in our community. They didn't know who they were buying it for,
Yeah.
and they turned up with custard for me.
Wow.
And that's one of the biggest changes was for me is that I didn't have to be this strong, super, you know, relentless human being, and that I didn't have to be strong all the time because I didn't see what vibe I was putting out.
Mm,
Whereas now well, who knows? You'd have to ask people around me, but I'm not that person because I think that the ability to accept people's generosity, people want to help. I
mm.
just didn't know how to ask. All
Do
right.
you think there's a difference between, so when we have to ask, when we decide to, sorry, we don't have to do anything, but when we decide to ask someone for help, that's one thing. I see the accepting something from someone's just pure generosity. I see them as two different things because at
They
one
are
point you're going, you know what, I've got to get to the point where I can ask for help because I need help. I just can't do this. But then when people just out of their own generosity just give help, accepting is also something I've struggled with as well. Tell me a bit about that for
very
you.
much so. I couldn't agree more. So I still suck at asking for help. And it's not that I think I can do it better. That's not what I mean.
Yeah.
Um, I'm especially, I know that when things have been hard and they come and go, and a lot of people, like you'll get given a lot of books, like the Cancer Council gives you all these books, and it's like ring this number, ring this number. It's like, man, I can't even pick up the phone. How the hell am I going to talk to someone because I can't explain? So I can't. I was in not in a. I'm still not that great at asking for help or saying,
Mm,
hey, can you come mow the lawn? That's not what I mean, because
mm,
I think it's about when we accept and have the gratitude. As I said, when I'm grateful for those retirees that I know that I don't know how many people would have gone to the shop and just picked up Christmas supplies, buying them for someone who needed it in the community.
mm,
Like I just can't. That generosity of heart is just something now that I now give back to that. I'm
mm,
very conscious now of being, well, I hope I am. Sometimes I might, right? But it's about being able to help those people or help people when they are not able to ask for help.
mm. I mean, look at what's happening in Victoria right now.
Oh,
Australians coming together and just giving what they can, which is truly what, we do. We've done it with every major catastrophe
yeah.
that has happened. And I remember the big floods and things like that. And it was interesting. When a big catastrophe happened near Lismore, there was floods and everything. I was
Mm.
working in the men's maximum security prison, and it was the prisoners who wanted to put some things together to
Wow.
give back. And in fact, around the time, there was also a disaster in Haiti. The men in the
Yes.
prison raised money to send to the care, the people who were giving care and everything. So, it's amazing who in the community wants to give back to people who need it, who would probably never ask for it
They
because like
won't.
our
Well, they're too
farmers are so
distraught.
stoic.
That's
Yeah.
right, and they're in free fall trauma. They've had
Yeah.
this massive trauma. I mean, we had the fires here in 2019, so we had hundreds of fireys, and our town and beyond all did different things. People were turning it like they were putting kits together for the fireys or the first responders. I mean, Paul,
Mm,
we have a four drive, so he's driving all the things out way out back to one of their setup where there's all the volunteers in the kitchens.
mm,
Like I think it's just that this is what happens when tragedy happens and crisis and these things happen. We pull together as a country. Like that's Aussies are
yeah.
just so great at that. And I
Yeah.
think other countries are too. This is not comparing another country,
Yeah.
but it's around that feeling is if one thing I would say is if you've had a friend or you've got a loved one who is and has been given a diagnosis, don't try to fix it. Love them through it and
Mm,
love them in whatever way you love them through it.
yeah.
If you're going to go turn up with a bag of groceries, don't expect to come in and have a chat because they might not be able to chat.
I'm the
They're
bossy
working
sis.
so hard on trying to live right now. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
and it's that zero expectation. You want to help with a zero expectation in return. And that's on both sides of that. Whereas
Yeah.
Bron, the lady who came in with the washing basket, I said, please come in, have a coffee. And she said, no, Bron, that's not why I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm here. She walked upstairs, she unloaded her washing basket, she spoke to tall Paul for 5 minutes, and she left.
Yeah.
And I went, wow. Now that's incredible
Mm,
in terms of being I'm the vulnerable one,
yeah.
and now it's like when that person is vulnerable. I mean, I've talked to I don't know how many people who are going through these situations. I'm not there to fix. I'm just there to go, I'm so sorry this is happening to you. And that's what
Mm.
I wished I'd known as a nurse. Acknowledgement.
Right.
I wished I had acknowledged someone
Yeah.
for their tragedy, or that when I say tragedy, a health adversity is a tragedy because your life as you know it will never be the
Yeah.
same.
And asking someone, instead of assuming we know what someone needs or wants, asking them what is it that I could do?
Mm.
And that question's not always right
No,
at
and
just any time, but
well, people want to help, so they go, give me a call if you need a hand. Of
mm,
course they mean it.
mm,
But for me, hell will freeze over before I pick up that phone.
yeah, because
I'm not good at
like
it. I'm really bad at that, right? I can't. I'm
yeah,
not, because then what happens is you're putting back on me to ask you versus now I say, how can I support?
yeah, I feel like a
I'm
burden.
I'm at how can I support? And I've learnt this through charity work. I mean, like others' charity work, not my, not just mine. And how
Mm,
can I support? I'm at Coles. Which flavor of something? What are you? What's one thing you can eat right now?
mm,
You turn up with a bag, you drop it at the front door, and you leave.
yeah,
For
fantastic.
me, for me.
Yeah,
Other people may want the conversation. Other people may literally need a hug
yeah,
because you want to love them through it. You cannot do
mm,
it. You can't do anything else.
mm,
Just love them through it and just let them show you because they might not be able to use words.
mm. I remember when my mum went through cancer and I became the bossy sister that made lists for everyone. And I said, Mum's not lifting a finger. We're going to do this. And there was a list of everything. And I remember being so mad. Um, I was mad at my mum because she started doing things what I felt like was too soon because she's that stoic woman. And I got mad at my family and I'm like, did we all just forget that mum had cancer 6 months ago?
Mm,
And what you think she's now fine to do everything? Like I was mad as hell. I'm like,
interesting.
how quickly you all forget what she's just gone through and is still recovering from. Like, it's not like 6 months done and gone. Like, this is a long-term thing, and she's just hit 6 years now.
Wow.
Seven
Well,
years?
well done
7 years.
her.
Yeah. So, but I was the bossy sister. Let me ask you, there's a fine line between staying strong and knowing when to let go. How did you learn the difference between control and surrender?
Great question. So for me that did not happen until the myeloma diagnosis, the blood cancer diagnosis, because literally was brought to my knees and the doctor, I was given a prognosis number when I didn't ask for it.
Mm.
Here, Bron, this is your life expectancy. I was
So that
54
didn't happen with the first diagnosis that you,
because I was on a curative path, right? Breast cancer,
oh,
we can cure,
yeah,
right? So
yeah.
curing is that's just as brutal. Here's the iPad. Chuck it. I think I did a video this week on it actually. Chuck, 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 chuck. In he goes. Chuck. All right, Ron, there's your percentage of survival at 5 years.
Wow.
Sorry, I've come down to a formula in an iPad, have I? Thank you so much. And so I just jumped on the bandwagon. I did all the things, and I had so many people reach out to me to say, Bron, whatever, your loveless lifestyle choices, which is why you got cancer and all of these things, right? What? Sorry? And I get it, right? I get what that person was saying, which was loveless, meaning loving yourself, because
Mm,
I didn't understand what that meant coming from a mother of five boys and nursing. I'd given, 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 given. I understand it, but the way
mm,
that was delivered, I'm still traumatized by it.
yeah.
So coming through to sitting out the back of my house and looking at the trees and praying to insert your God and praying, going, please, please, God, give me time. Please, please, please give me time to process this. Because I knew how it worked, right?
Mm.
And then when I do get formally diagnosed and given a prognosis, Bron, we're starting treatment next week. Why are we starting treatment next week? This is the thing. Now I will ask the question, why are we starting next week? Versus, can we have this conversation around how can I participate in these conversations? Because I wanted time to
Mm.
get my head and my body prepared. That's all I wanted, right? Didn't get it. Grief again. And what was your question again? Surrender from control.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you look in the world now, right? Entrepreneurs, business owners, what do we do? What are we taught? We're taught to set a goal. We're taught to make it smart. We're taught to make it 20,000 steps to get there. And if you don't, and if you can miss three of them, 75 hard, all of the things, right? These lovely long lists of things to do. Are they wrong? I'm not here to say they're wrong. I'm just saying, are they doable over time?
Mm.
And so here we are, hustle, hustle, hustle. We've got to be no matter what's going on in your life,
Mm.
because that's how you build a business, bro. I didn't know. I came out of nursing. I wouldn't have a clue how to build a business. It was a lot harder than I thought, just saying. But anyway, so I just did what everyone else did, hustled my butt off
Yeah.
at the expense of my soul, expense of my health. And was that the right thing to do? No, because it's all about control.
Mm.
Get up at 5 a.m. and you're meditating by 5:10, and you will meditate for 20 minutes and you will journal for 20 minutes, and then you're going to go for a 45-minute walk and you will walk 10,000 steps.
Yep.
Okay. Great.
And then we
Not
will take care of everybody else.
and then we'll take care of everyone else. By that stage, you're stuffed. But what
Yeah.
my point is, you can choose whatever that path looks like without the control. The surrender to that is, Bron, you can get up at 5 a.m. You wake, you set the alarm at 5. No, I'm feeling pretty off. Great. Set it for 6. You don't have to get up at 5 if you don't want to. We're talking about journaling. I really work hard on just writing down thoughts. And I'm in my journal, and I started this in October, and I've written in there exactly 27 times because I started to number them, because it's like I completely forgot for the last 3 days.
Yeah.
But the control on that is, oh, you need to start again. You need to start your 75 again because you've missed 3 days of journaling, versus, sweet. Well done you for opening your journal and writing in there again, Bron. That is so cool. And you meditated, or you just sat there and looked at the trees and you were so grateful, and you patted your dog and you enjoyed your hot coffee.
Mm.
That's meditating. That's what I call healing. So that's control thinking versus resilience thinking, which is, we write in pencil, things change. They change in an instant. So when adversity comes, it will change even more than you think, right? And
Mm.
so that's where I learnt that control was going to kill me, because I was trying to do what everyone else did,
And
thinking
that's
it
the
was
thing, isn't
right.
it? You
It's
know,
it's it's just common, right? Yep, this is what we're going to do. There's books on it, and it's great. But
yeah.
take what I say, take the bits you want and leave the rest. Do
Yeah, I love
75
that.
hard,
Yeah, I love that.
but do
And
your version of it.
yeah, that's what's really, I think that's a really powerful message too, is like no one says you have to do that, that, and that. That's what they do. And I always say, with building a tool bag for resilience, that you can have all of these tools, but what works for you? And
Correct.
and you've got to sit still long enough to figure out what that is. And
And that things change.
yeah,
So
yeah.
that's where the flexibility comes in. So rather than you've got today 34 of your 75 heart, and you've got to start again and you failed. You didn't
Mm.
fail. You've just kicked ass for 34 days. You
Yeah.
continue on. Okay, we're probably going to have an argument with, I don't even know what the guy's name, but I think fantastic for the people that resonates with.
Yeah.
But for me and my people, where we go Serenity now, moments by moment,
Mm,
because the moment makes a memory, and that's how we make every day count. We do not have the list of things. We
mm,
can have the tool belt of resilience. 100% you can learn it. I've learned it. I didn't have
mm.
it. This didn't come naturally. I didn't choose. Sure as hell didn't choose it. So it's more the fact that, okay, God, grant me serenity to accept what I cannot change, the
Mm.
courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And
And that
that's
leads me to my
it.
next question about the Serenity Project. So, because that is a powerful name, and when we spoke the first time, I said serendipitous is my favorite word. So when I saw the Serenity Project, I went, oh, I like this. And so, what does serenity actually look like on the hard days, not the calm ones?
So the hard days is literally like what I wrote in my journal this morning. And it literally is that A equals A. So A is a moment. And when we attach thoughts, feelings, past, future, all of the things to
Mm,
A then becomes B, C, D, E, F, and G. So A equals B, C, D, E, F, and G. But in actual fact, A equals A. That's it. So when
mm,
we remove all of the things, this is what serenity now looks for me.
mm,
A equals A, Bron. We don't have the results that are going to be taken on the 7th of February. So why are you worrying about the results that you haven't got yet?
mm.
The
And is that
fact,
because of what's happened in the past? That was the answer in the past, so that will be the answer. Yeah.
well, it's fear. It's fear, it's projection. We look at the
Mm,
future, we look at the past, and we worry about the future, and we worry about the past, and all that energy is going all over the place instead of here. A
mm.
equals A. Be where your feet are. Feel
Yeah.
the feels. As I said, I literally wrote this to myself this morning. Feel the feels. Control the controllables.
Yeah.
Pause, reflect, respond, repeat.
I like
Moment
that.
by,
Control the controllables.
yeah, and moment by moment,
Mm.
acceptance, courage, and wisdom.
Yeah.
That's what Serenity Now moments are, because
Mm.
it's not a whole day. And that's where, when coming from entrepreneur land and coming from places where you're setting these beautiful big plans for 2026,
Yeah.
guess what? A equals A, which means that you may need to change your plan without fear of failure. I stuffed up. Oh my God, it's happened again. And it's just A equals A. And guess what? We write in pencil.
Yeah. So we can rub it out. Mm.
Literally write in
Love that.
pencil. And so that's what it means when we lose control and we just accept where our feet are.
Yeah. So write that down, listeners. A equals A. It's a really good one.
And I did add, which is, am I allowed to swear?
Yeah.
It's A equals A, full fucking stop.
Yeah.
One dot, that's it. Because it's
Yeah.
so easy to attach and make a big, messy movie out of it. And we are not. I'm no Oscar winning movie, you know,
Mm.
actor. So A equals A.
Yeah. Love that. So for some listeners who feel constantly pulled into the future or stuck in the past, what's one simple way they can practice being where their feet are today?
It's those moments, right? So when I pause, it could be breathing, right? We use what is that breathing? I call it the Navy SEAL breathing, but there's a correct term for
Box
it.
breathing. Yeah.
Thank you. There we go. See, that's why I'm not very, like, if anyone wants to pick me up on this, if please do. Memory's not great. So, you do the box, literally box breathing, because if you can
Yeah.
feel it, you can physiologically feel it. Bzzz, up it comes. And physiologically, you are turning on part of your brain that goes, oh my God, we're just about to fight a tiger.
Yeah.
Everything shuts down except the laser focus of life survival. So when we start and when we literally pause and you literally start the box breathing, physiologically, it'll bring you back to the moment.
Mm.
You may go, cool, control the controllables. Well, I can make a cup of tea or a coffee. And I can pick that coffee up and I can go, you know what? Thank you, coffee. You have been my best friend for years. I appreciate you. I really do. I appreciate a really good coffee.
Yeah.
All right, because that's all I had left. That's all literally in my life. That literally all I had left was I could at least enjoy a coffee, and that, and it sounds like so wacky when I hear myself saying that, talking to my coffee. But what I'm literally saying, guys, is being in the moment to go,
Mm.
man, this is what I can control right now, is to make myself the best beverage that I love. And please, I'm not saying go get the Chardonnay out at 10 o'clock in the morning, but what I am saying is please just pause for yourself. Just pause.
Yeah. And it's interesting because I have used the examples to simplify. So some people will say I have nothing to be grateful for, nothing's going right in my life. But when I say really simplify it,
Yeah,
if you wake up in a bed and you had a good night's sleep, first of all, you're in a bed. Second of all, you've had a good night's sleep. You've got a comfy pillow. You might go to the shower. You've got water. You might make a cup of coffee. We think we have to have these big things to
agreed.
be grateful for.
Yeah.
But if you look at everything you do on a daily basis, that glass of water you get to drink, the technology. I don't know anyone that doesn't have a phone. Um, I was about to say unless you're in prison, but you could
They'll
still
probably
have
get
a
phones
phone.
anyway.
But like we have all these things. So to be grateful for the technology that we have, to be grateful for the cup of tea or the cup of coffee, or we don't have to make this so big that we
No.
feel like we don't have anything to be grateful for. So thank you. I like
Yeah, yeah. And because, for me, when I go into those places of victim, which is why me, I never say the word. People say to me, why you? I don't ask that.
mm,
Because I truly believe, and remembering I have been in this industry for a very long time, that bad shit happens to good people.
yeah.
I didn't choose this. I
Mm,
didn't, I didn't bring it on for whatever reasons. Okay, there's lifestyle choices in there. We know all of that. I'm not talking about the stuff. I'm not talking
Mm,
about those things. What I'm talking about, nobody chooses to go to a cancer institute. Nobody chooses adversity.
yeah. Mm,
It's what happens next.
that's
That's
right.
what's important.
And so if I said to you, if you had to name one belief you carried before cancer that you no longer hold, what would that be?
This is one question, the only time I did write something down, which was that I had this belief in business, in life, that if I said that I was going to do something, I had to honor it.
Yeah.
If I said I was doing something, I would do it. And it was the second dose of chemotherapy from the breast cancer. So if anyone's had chemotherapy with breast cancer and you're getting the big guns, that was me, right? I had the
Mm,
treatment in the morning. 4 hours later, I'm running a Facebook Live into my group to my clients. Right? God knows what I said. And I caught a glimpse of myself in the mirror. I was already bald, didn't take long, 2 weeks, and I was bald. And I caught a glimpse of myself. I had a turban on, and I looked thinking, who is that person for starters? And then I went, do you want to die? Because
mm.
if you keep this up, you're going to die.
Oh my gosh.
And I literally shut it all down overnight. And I had to reinvent and I had to pivot. And no, I did not have income protection. So I
Mm,
had to work.
mm.
We had children. Paul was doing his thing. I was doing my thing. And so my lesson there is that I can still believe that I will do what I say I'm going to do, but it's going to be on my timeline, not yours.
Yeah.
So there are days, and Jo Muirhead is this most amazing human. She's the one who's teaching me this, which is, you know what, Bron, if the spoon energy thing, you've heard of the spoons theory.
Hmm.
So with spoon theory, of course, for those who don't know, which is we all have finite energy and it's all, imagine you've got 10 spoons in front of you and you have a shower, well, there goes the first spoon. And then you've got some stuff and you've got all these spoons and energy is not infinite, it is finite. And so there are days when you don't have 10 spoons, you might only have two. So where are you going to place that energy?
Mm.
And that's my lesson, which is, you know what? If you need to cancel, you cancel.
Yeah.
And it's very powerful and empowering when you can deliver what you say you're going to deliver, Bron, but you're going to actually put yourself first and deliver it on your timeline, which means it may not always suit. And I actually did that towards the end of last year. I actually cancelled some training that I had agreed that I was going to do. It was paid training. And I went, you know what? No. And I cancelled it. Big deal for me. And
Mm.
but that's the lesson is that it's a yes, but it's a yes on my terms.
So the first time you decided to say no, was that the hardest? And then did
Very
you reflect on that and go, I can do that?
well. It wasn't as hard as I thought.
Mm.
It wasn't hard at all. I'd made it into something that it wasn't because I had made A equals B, C, D, E, F, and G that I was going to let all these people down.
Yeah.
And then it wasn't the person I was letting down was me.
Mm.
So when I made it A equals A, and this is the moment, it wasn't hard at all. And
Right.
it's not and I am not responsible for someone else's. I can't make anybody to do anything. I can't make anybody go, yeah, no, that's okay. No, it's like, oh my God, Josh, you're letting us all down. Versus if they knew that it was because I simply needed to look after myself,
Mm.
people don't care because I
No,
was
they
very
want you to.
they want you to look after you, and we do want to, and this is the whole Aussie spirit. We want to look after ourselves. So let's support our people, which means if someone wants to change versus remember the caveat, of course, is the people who just, especially the young ones, that they change it in a flip of a minute.
Mm.
But I can only talk for myself, all
Yeah.
right, in this situation. And the listeners, you put this into your own situation, but finding that when you start to back and respect and honor yourself, good things happen.
And I cannot remember for the life of me which year, whether it wasn't last year, but maybe the year before, there was a Pink concert and Pink was extremely ill. Now, I was shocked to see comments. I'm always shocked to see some comments because I just cannot believe people can say what they can say
Mm,
online, but wouldn't say it to someone's face. But
correct.
she was terribly ill. Her children were terribly ill, and she does not cancel. She works very hard. You
She
know, that's
does.
extremely obvious to see. And people just were so offensive towards her because she had to make the decision to look after herself. And let me tell you, she would have been pretty damn ill to cancel. And sometimes you've got to make those decisions. And I know I'm not always good at it, but yeah, I
No,
thank you for sharing that.
and it is hard. It is hard. But the thing
Mm,
is, the keyboard warriors are going to be keyboard warriors. And you know what? When I see that, I have compassion and love for those people because they must be miserable son of a bitches.
mm,
You know, and
yeah,
it's their deal, and I don't want to judge them because I don't know what's going on in their house. I don't know
yeah,
what's going on in their life. If that's how they feel that they need to go and criticize someone and judge someone else, that's all judgment.
mm.
You're judging
Yeah, I
someone
do.
else when you know zero what's
Yeah.
going on in their world.
Yeah, like you said, I often go, what must be happening for you to be like that? But
Mm.
yeah. So so many people put life on hold waiting for someday or when things are better. What would you say to our listeners who are doing that right now, that someday or when things are better or when this happens?
Well, for someone who had their someday ripped away from them, I would say, please, 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 just do it.
Mm,
Find a way. Don't blow it all up. You know, it's like I've had businesses, "Oh, I want to blow it to the ground and whatever. You don't have to blow it all up. But if you're not sure, go and have a conversation with someone who will have a judgment-free conversation within your field. Like you'll see them in Facebook groups and all sorts of things. But all I would say to someone is that someday may never come if you keep waiting for it.
mm,
And then I have been present at many, many times when someone has passed. And there's a book by Bronnie Ware, I think it is, which is the five regrets in life. Amazing book, definitely
yeah.
worth. It's not negative, guys, right?
Is that where
Because
she spoke to elderly people
yeah,
asking, or people on their deathbed,
yep.
what are your,
What are the five
what's
main
your,
regrets?
right, right. I will have to
Mm.
go and read
It
that.
is amazing, right?
Yeah,
It's not about how much money was in the bank account. It
yeah.
was about their families. It was about time. It was bucket lists, right? So, um, it's about just those, and bucket lists don't have to involve squillions of dollars. And like I
Mm,
would love to say that I've always wanted to do Machu Picchu, right? There's no way with the way I am that I don't know what my body would do in that
mm,
environment now.
mm.
Cool. So we can't do much. And then I'd actually booked into walking to base camp and I had to cancel, right?
Right.
Yeah, in Nepal, right? I don't think I'll ever do that.
Mm.
So what can I do?
I
So then
like
it's
that. Yeah. What
So
can
it's
I do?
God grant me to accept what I
Yeah.
cannot change. My feet are stuffed. I ran one half marathon. It was hilarious back in 2013. I ran the New York half marathon. I've always wanted to do one more.
Yeah.
I couldn't run 100 meters now, let alone 21 Ks, right? But I can walk. So I saw a post the other day from a local GP and they're saying, well, I do minimum of 7,000 steps, but really we should be doing 11,000 steps. And I thought, yeah, that's great for you. You don't have neuropathy.
Mm.
You don't have feet that fail you. So what that's what I mean. If we put all that waiting and we're going, cool, well, I've got to wait till my feet can run 21 Ks. No. But what I can do is that I can set a goal for 3,000 steps or 4,000 steps.
Yeah.
So it's around, please don't wait. Please,
Yeah.
please, please don't wait because tomorrow is guaranteed to no one. And I'm not being negative, guys. I'm not
Mm.
being the black shroud coming in.
Yeah. The doom
I'm
and
literally
gloom.
saying embrace your moments, your life, and make it happen in whatever way it means. It doesn't mean blowing everything up and living in a tent unless you want to. Go
Mm.
and live in the tent. And that's what I love. You're seeing so many people on the road, they're living their lives with these absolutely kitted out vans and we bought a caravan. We love caravanning. All right. So it's around doing being actually we're human beings, we're not human doings, right? So
Yeah.
please go and experience the moments.
Mm.
I have a doctor, he kept saying to me, Bron, you got to travel while you can. You got to travel while you can. It's like, if you keep saying that to me, Eric, I'm going to have to punch you because I will be going and it'll be when I want to go, not when you think I can go, because you know what I'm saying? So please, if you have a bucket list or if you have a dream and it's in your heart, just please start looking in and go, hey, how can I bring that to life?
Yeah, what do I want to do? Yeah.
You want to walk what's it called again that you walked?
The Camino.
The Camino, right? You can might go and do the one in Japan next. Just saying,
Yeah.
you know? And it knowing that we, you know, what's the guy that crawled the
Oh,
Kokoda Trail?
Kurt Fernley. Yeah, he did
If
Kokoda.
we crawl it, we can do anything,
I know,
you
and
know?
that's why I watched him. I honestly watched him 20 times on that 60-minute interview because I went, if you can do that, I have nothing to complain about. And when I was trekking Kokoda, I was often thinking of him, even when I nearly fell down a drop toilet. I was like, we're not quitting. We're not quitting. So
No, no. I mean, I did have someone say that once. You're too stupid to quit, Bron. You're absolutely damn right I am. Thank you for the compliment. I chose to look at it as a compliment.
quitting is not an option in my world.
No, no, because you know what? You're a long time dead.
Yeah, yeah. So looking back, what do you think life was trying to teach you, not through pain, but through awareness?
Looking back, you know, back in the day, way back in the day, I thought, I'd get married and I'd have two children. I'd have a boy and a girl, and they'd be 3 years apart. And, we'd have this sweet old world. God knows what, typical Gen X baby, right? Like, what were we thinking? Like, what possessed my mother? My mother was not like that at all, right? She was
Yeah.
not that kind of woman. She was one of the first Australian, she was one of the first women to graduate in architecture at Sydney Uni. Like, she did all the things. And so it's, I just was following everyone else's dream. I just created a dream for everyone else. And where it came unstuck was because I didn't put myself in the dream. It was someone else's dream.
Oh.
Like that. I ended up with 5 boys in 10.5 years. Did we see a boy and a girl 3.5, 3 years apart? No, we did not. And, I turning 40, when we're going to be fit, we're going to be fabulous, we're going to be all these things. And I've got an 11-week-old baby feeling like shite. Number 5, right? So sometimes life has the
Mm.
lessons that you mightn't see as lessons, but I am so grateful I've got my beautiful, amazing family and that these boys are all so different, which I love so much. And because it keeps life, it's not the spice of life. That is such not what I mean here. But what I'm saying there is that those lessons,
Mm.
there's always something. So it's like, I think I've talked to you before about the basketball game, right? I used to play basketball and you'd be playing away and the team pretty intense, whatever. And I was the guard and then we're playing basketball and we miss the shot. So we come off. There's two choices when we come off. We can either put the energy into the shots we missed or
Yeah.
we can put the energy into the next play.
Mm.
That's the lesson, the next play, because this moment in time here,
Yeah.
no one chooses to miss the hoop. They're doing their darndest. We practice for hours and hours to try to get the darn hoop. It just happens.
Yeah.
So it's the
And you can't
next.
change it. You got to let it
You
go.
can't change it, which is the past. You cannot change it,
Yeah.
but we can influence the next play.
Mm. I love that. If there's one thing you would like listeners to take from this conversation, what would it be?
I
I know
would
it's hard to
love
choose one
listeners.
thing.
Yep, I'm going to choose one. I would love them to find their own serenity, what serenity means
Oh,
for them. Because it's what my serenity is mine,
yeah.
yours is yours. So go and find your serenity.
Mm.
because that's those moments, those serenity now moments, which are made from the A equals, I'm not going to say them again. We've already said it a few times, but the whole, controllables, all of that moment,
Yeah.
because that's where, and a lot of lovely people like to say, Bron, you need to go make memories. Make your own memories. I'm already doing. I'm good. Thank you very much for asking. Because the moments make the memories, and that's how we make every day count. So when you are wrapping up for the day and you can sit back and go, wow, woo, that was a hell of a day.
Yeah.
Good, bad, ugly. It's done.
Mm.
Find your serenity,
Yeah.
because your serenity will support you no matter what, which was, I would love to lose the word cure, because I talk about healing, because we
Mm.
all can go on a path of healing. I don't say healed because it's always moving, it's always changing. But if we can go on a path of healing,
Yeah.
everyone can heal, whether they live 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 months, 20 years.
Yeah.
And then if you imagine if you're going into a cancer institute and we're all talking about healing.
Mm.
Hey, how are you going with your healing? Like if I that's Serenity Project. That's what we're here for, is to influence
That would be
that.
such a better question, wouldn't it? Like,
Let's talk about healing. And like, well, I'm going to be going, choose whatever you want. If you want to go vegan, if you want to get up at 5 a.m. and meditate for 3 hours,
mm,
great. It is exactly your serenity. It is exactly your healing pathway.
yeah.
Versus Bron, who does not want the green kale smoothie. And
See,
she
I
will
love
not be
the green
giving up
kale
coffee.
smoothie.
I love it. I'm not saying don't drink it, but for me, part of
Oh,
my serenity is a beautiful coffee in the morning.
yeah.
And I don't care what people tell me, Brian, you got to get off this, you got to do this, you got to do that. No, I don't have to do anything. What I can do is be the being part, which is what serenity is about. So please, if that's what I could encourage people, go find your serenity.
I love that. Thank you. Thank you, Bron, for your honesty, your authenticity, and sharing with our listeners. I know that they will get lots and lots of nuggets from this. I really appreciate you, and I know that we will have more conversations because you're just a gorgeous person and you've got so much to share. And especially your wisdom around all things, not just your journey, but also living life, right? Living life. And I wish it didn't take us to get to 50. For me, I wish it didn't take me to get to 50 to understand certain things, but maybe it's supposed to. But thank you.
It is, and as a sin, I talk to the young kids and I say, guys, this is what I wish someone had said to me.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. So now, if my listeners want to find you, how do they do that?
I think the easiest spot is just to go to serenityproject.com.au. We do lots of, we've just launched a podcast. Like, what was I thinking? But the main thing, I think, if there's a newsletter there called the check-in, and it's just a weekly, well, it will be weekly, not at the moment, it's not, but it's fortnightly, again, writing in pencil.
Yeah,
Um, but that's where we can connect. And there's on that website, I have a little link where you can actually leave me a voice memo if you want. Just leave me a message and I'll send you one back. So there's different ways, because not everyone can type, not everyone can hold phones, but you can talk. Well,
yeah.
not everyone can talk. You know what I'm saying? We want to make that, and any question is not a bad question. So I would love any kind of feedback, any kind of, because I know I can help people put them in the touch with their thing if they're looking for, because sometimes if you go and Google something,
Go
it's a
down a rabbit
problem.
hole.
Rabbit hole, right? Don't do the rabbit hole. So yeah, just and love to connect. It's all about the collaboration. It's all about a community. It's all about creating the awareness to go, you go find that serenity because you're worth it.
Love it. Thank you. Thank you.